So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Premiere Pro step by step from start to finish. So the things I'll be covering are, number one, importing your clips to the workspace area. Also, I'll show you how to cut your individual clips. So for example, here on the timeline, I'm also going to show you how to add a title. So for example, like this.
Hello, sir.
And I'm going to show you how to add transitions in between your different clips as well as the end of the clip. I'm also going to show you how to add different effects. For example, the blur effect, or how to adjust lighting and contrast, and also how to crop your image if you're interested in knowing how to do that as well. Finally, I'm going to show you how to add music to your video and narration as well, and of course how to export your video at the end. So we're going to cover quite a lot. Let's get started. First thing we want to do is open Adobe Premiere Pro. So I'm going to do that now. Just going to click on it. And then I'm going to click on New Project because that's what this is. As you can see, I've already got a few projects that I have finished editing right here, so you can easily access your projects from here, your recent ones. Okay, so click on New Project. And for this project, I'm going to call it Test. Yes, I want to overwrite the ones I've created, which are Test. And for sequence name, this just means the name of your video once you've finished editing it. So this is what it's going to be saved as. So this name really. And we're going to call it YouTube tutorial. And then I'm going to click on OK. Okay, so once you open Adobe Premiere Pro, this is usually what you'll see, 4 panels opened here. And this is the dashboard area. Now, if you don't see the 4 panels which are laid out like this, you can reset your workspace. So the way to do that is go up here to Windows, click on it, click on Workspace, and then make sure that editing is selected. And if you do that, hopefully it will reposition the boxes this way so you can start editing. Now, first things first, we want to import our clips. So to do that, go up here to File on the left-hand corner, click on it, and then click on Import. So I'm going to select a few videos here. So I'm going to select this one, then I'm going to hit Ctrl on my keyboard, and I'm also going to select this clip here and this clip here. Then I'm going to click on Open to import the clips into my project. So as you can see, the clips have been imported to my workspace area. Now, if you want to make your workspace area a little bit bigger or smaller, all you need to do is go to the edge of your workspace, and then you will see these 2 arrows that are pointing in the opposite direction, and you can drag them out and in. And in that way, you can make this area bigger or smaller. Okay, so this is pretty good. I think we can also do that for the top. Now, to start working on your video or your clip, all you need to do is double click on the clip that you want to work on. So I'm going to work on this one first. Now, I don't want to drag this whole clip onto my timeline area. I want to select only portions of the clip. Now, the way to do that is I can click on the yellow button here and just drag it to the area that I want to set the input area on. So let's say from here, and then I click on I, or I hit I on my keyboard. And now we have only that portion highlighted rather than the entire clip. And then we can drag the yellow button again up until the area where we want to set our output. So let's say from here, this time we want to press on O on our keyboard, and this is where the output is now set. Okay, now to drag this portion of the video or clip onto our timeline, all we need to do is go on top of the image with our mouse and then drag it onto our timeline. This is one way to do it. You can also use these buttons here to insert it to our timeline, but it's much easier to drag it. So let's just drag, and we're going to drag it onto video 1, this area, and let it be. Now it says here, this clip does not match the sequence settings. Do you want to change them? Yes, we do. And this just means that all of the different metadata for this particular clip is what your entire video will have as well. So the size, the frame rate, the quality of the video and things like that are going to be the same or are going to match this particular video, which is what we want. So click on change sequence settings, which is okay. Now if you want to view the clip that you've just dragged onto your timeline, all you need to do is press spacebar on your keyboard. And if you press it again, it will stop. So this is just an easy way to view your clip. But of course you can also press here, and that's another way to view it as well. So I'm going to select another video here in the workspace area. Let's say this one. And again, I'm going to set an in point. I'm going to hit I on my keyboard. And then we set an out point. So we're just selecting parts of the video to drag onto our timeline rather than the whole video. So let's say here. And then I'm going to hit O on my keyboard, and this is the out point. And now I'm going to drag this particular clip. When I position this clip next to the other one, you have this yellow arrow pointing down, and that just means that it's exactly in the right position, which is what you want, and then you let it go. So it's pretty cool. Now if you want to view both clips, again we press spacebar on our keyboard. Okay, and again press spacebar and then you stop. I'm just going to make this longer so we can cut the right part. And to cut parts of the image on our timeline, in the tool area here we can select the razor tool. This is one way to do it. And then we can cut parts of the clip like this. Another way to select the razor tool, which is much easier, is to hit C on your keyboard. So if I hit C, boom, as you can see, the razor tool appears, and then I can also cut parts of the clip like this, and like this, and like this. So again, I'm going to undo by pressing Ctrl and Z, and Ctrl and Z. So if I want to delete this clip here, as you can see, it's already highlighted. So I can simply click on delete using the delete key on my keyboard. This is one way to do it, or I can right click and then click on clear. So this is another way to do it. If you want to change it back to this selection tool, there's a much shorter way to get to it, and that is by pressing V on your keyboard. So if you press V, as you can see now the selection tool is selected rather than the razor tool. As you can see, we've got this space in between our two clips on our timeline now. If you right click in between the two clips, click on ripple delete, it will delete this unnecessary area here, and it will position both clips next to each other perfectly so you don't have that space. So it's really good to use that. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to add titles, and to do that I'm just going to select both of these clips and I'm going to move them slightly backwards. So all I'm doing is just dragging them slightly backwards. Now to add a title to your clips, what you need to do is click on title up here in your menu bar, and then click on new title and default still. And then you can name your title if you want. I usually don't, but you can if you want, and then click on OK. And then you will see this box appear. Now you can put a title right here on your clip, or you can also put it just before your clip as well. So you can drag this yellow button to the beginning of your timeline. Make sure that your cursor, of course, is highlighted here in this area so you can type. And I'm going to call this Safari. One of the fonts that I like to use is Love You Like a Sister. So I'm going to just type LOV and it should come up by itself. Boom. So that changes right there. Now, if I select the selection tool, I can drag the text out. I can drag it to make it a bit more, to make it bigger or more narrow. So it really depends on what you want as well. Now if you want to position this text right in the middle, what you can do is right click and position and then horizontal center. And then if you click again, right click, position and vertical center, it will position the text right in the middle. You can also change the color of your text if you want. So if you want to do that, you just click on the area here where it says color, click in the middle here, and then you can change the color as well. So let's make that blue. It doesn't have to be perfect. There you go, it's blue. And you can also add shadow effects if you want. So click on shadow. You can make the shadow effect white at the back, like this. So you can really play around with this. Exit out like this. And the text should show here in the workspace area, and then you can drag it onto your timeline. So wherever you want to position it. I'm going to position it here on video 2 so that it doesn't overlap with my video and remove this section of my video. So I'm going to position it up here. And now have a look, let's play and see how it looks. So I'm going to press the space bar on my keyboard. Okay, press again to stop. So this is how you add a title to your video. It's the same thing again. If you want to cut parts of the title, you can do that by hitting C on your keyboard. Oops, it's automatically saved that for now. So hitting C on the keyboard, and as you can see again, the razor tool is selected and I can cut parts of the title like this. And then if I press V on my keyboard, it will select the selection tool and I can select this part of the title and click delete. In the space again, I can right click and ripple delete and it will delete that space, that unnecessary space here. So it's just a very easy way and quick way to edit your videos like this. Another way to actually cut part of your clip is to go to the end of your clip and just drag it in. So that way you can make it shorter, longer. So this is also really useful to know. It's the same for here as well. So the next thing I'm going to show you now are cool transitions that you can add onto your videos. So to add your transitions, you want to go here to the workspace area and click on effects. And then here where it says video transitions, click on the arrow pointing down. And this is the area where you can choose all of your different transitions. So let's say, for example, the dissolve, which is more or less the standard transition that most people use. The most popular one is cross dissolve. So I'm just going to drag this one onto our clip. So I'm going to drag it onto our title here. You can choose different versions of the dissolve transition if you want, or you can choose another type of transition. So maybe we can do zoom just for the purpose of this video. Let's do cross zoom for the next transition here in between clips. We can also add a transition at the end of the video. So if we want to fade out, for example, we can dip to black. Let's do that here. Just see how it looks. So if I drag this yellow button right to the beginning of our clip or our timeline, and I play using the space bar on our keyboard, okay, as you can see, it looks a lot better now that we've added transitions. So I highly recommend using those if you're editing your videos. So if you want to apply the same transition to all of your clips on your timeline, what you can do is select your clips, go to sequence up here in the menu bar, click on sequence, and then click on apply default transition to selection. And as you can see, it's applied it to all of your clips here. If you want to delete any of your transitions, what you need to do is just hover over them. And once you see a rectangular box appear, you click and then you press delete on your keyboard and it will delete that again. You got the rectangular box, so just hover over the transition. If it doesn't appear, you can make your clips longer so you can see them properly. Again, hover over. You see the rectangular box, click on that area and then delete. And that's how to delete your individual transition. Okay, so if you want to edit your transitions, what you need to do is hover over them. And when you see the rectangular box appear, double click on them and they will turn green. And then in the source monitor area, you will see the duration. So you can edit your transition here. So if you want to, I usually choose about 15 for the length or duration of my transition. Now the next thing we're going to focus on is adding effects. If we want to apply any effect at all, we go here to our workspace area, and in the search we type the effect that we're looking for. So in this case it's the fast color corrector. So here it is. And to apply your effect on any of your clips, you need to drag it into your timeline, so onto the clip. And once you see the plus icon there appear, it means that it's ready to be applied. So then you drop it down. Now the way to modify our effect is to go up here to our source monitor, click on Effect Controls, and you see this color circle appear, and we can then in the middle just drag it to change the color. Let's just make that maybe bluish. And we can also modify the brightness and contrast of our clip if we scroll down a bit. So you can see here where it says input levels, if we drag this middle cursor here and we just drag it, you can see our video becomes brighter here. If we drag it down, it becomes a lot darker. So this is how you can play around with brightness and contrast. Another popular effect that I use usually when I'm editing videos is the crop effect. So I'm going to type that here in the workspace area again. So crop. And then you can drag that onto your clip. I'm just going to drag it to the last clip here. As you can see, this clip hasn't been cropped yet, so you have to manually do that in your source monitor area. So at the moment, it will probably look like this from where you are sitting. So you click on Effects Control, and this is the area where you can crop your video or even an image, which it will be on your timeline. Where it says crop, you click here in the middle somewhere, and you will see this box appear around your clip. And then you can simply drag in and out, and this is how you can crop your clip. Now another effect which I find very useful to know is the blur effect. And again, if we type blur here in our workspace area, I'm just going to drag it onto our title this time. In order to apply our blur, what we need to do again, we need to go here to the source monitor area and click on Effects Control, and then you can increase the blurriness. So I'm just going to increase it. As you can see, it's going to get very blurry, or you can decrease it just by dragging out the numbers. Another thing I want to show you very quickly are adding keyframes, and keyframes are very useful. Anywhere you see this toggle animation icon appear, you can add keyframes. You can add a keyframe to the motion of this text, for example. So if we click here on motion, so whichever clip you want to add a keyframe to, you're going to make sure it's highlighted first. So I'm going to highlight my text. I'm going to go here to motion. I want to start adding some kind of cool effect at the beginning of my text. So I'm going to click on here on toggle animation, click, click and click and click. And this is the beginning of my text here. Now what I'm going to do is I want to make this Safari text become larger as the video is playing. So to do that, I'm just going to move our cursor here, and I'm going to increase the scale and make it big like this. And as you can see, it's set another keyframe here, and it means between this position and this position, it's going to expand or become bigger. Another thing you can do is you can position the text. Maybe if you want the text to come from your left-hand side, you can do that as well. So if I go back here, if I click on the text and I just move it from here, and then I go here and I move it back there, it will come from the left-hand side from the beginning, and when it's in the middle, it will stop. So it will come from the left-hand side all the way to the middle, up onto where our cursor is. And that's really how to add animation to your text. Yeah, just play around with the different keyframes and setting keyframes really, but it's a very versatile thing that you can do. And you can add keyframes to basically any kind of effects. So anywhere where you see the toggle animation, you can add a keyframe. Okay, so next thing I'm going to show you how to do is to add music to our project. So I'm just going to select a music file, so File and Import. By the way, I made a tutorial on where to find copyright-free music. Please check the description box. It's a very detailed video and the music is pretty cool as well. So yeah, check out the tutorial down below. Anyways, I'm just going to select my music folder, Dolce Ute. Okay. All right. And if I go to my project test, you can see that the music file is now imported. If you're confused and you see something different here in this workspace area, just go to project and the name of your project and it will bring up all of the different clips that you've imported here. Okay, so to add my music onto my timeline, what I need to do is just double click on it like I do for all of the other clips. And then let me just play a little bit. Okay, let's stop that. So again, it's the same thing. We want to set an in point and an out point and then add it to our timeline. I've set the in point right there.
Setting.
For my out point, I'm going to put it right there. So I'm going to hit O on my keyboard. Boom. The way to drag your music is not by hovering over the music track here, but rather you need to go here to this icon and then drag it to your timeline like that. So let me just do that again. Okay, there you go. Just gonna drag it right to the beginning of our timeline. Now, if you want to make the volume of your music louder or softer, this is the way to go about it. So to open Audio 2, to see the actual audio sequence here properly, we need to click on this arrow which is pointing to your right. Click on it and it will point down, and then you can start editing individual sections here. Now, if you want to make parts of the track louder or softer, the way to go about it is just by dragging this yellow line down, let's say to minus 12.73, and let's play that. As you can see, it's much lower. So this is the way to make it lower, or you can drag it up to make it louder. Okay. And another way to go about this is to again highlight, make sure that you select your track and then you right click, and here where it says audio gain, if you click on audio gain and set gain to, if you click on that, you can also increase and decrease the volume this way. So say for example we put here 10 to make it very loud. Let's see. Okay, that's very loud. If you want to make the individual parts of your music louder and lower, the way that I usually go about it is to use my razor tool and the selection tool. So say for example we want to make the beginning of this track loud. I simply hit C on my keyboard, and as you can see the razor tool appears, and I can just cut this individual section, and then I press V on my keyboard to select the selection tool, and then I can make just that part louder or lower. Let's make that a little bit louder. And as you can see now, this section is much louder than the other section. So if we play it, there you go. And then you can again do the same thing. Press C to select the razor tool, and then you can cut the individual tracks and play around with making it louder or lower depending on what you want really. So the next thing I want to show you very quickly is how to add a clip on top of another clip. So say for example, as these two guys here are walking, you want another clip to show here, maybe of something else. The way to do that is here in the workspace area, click on the clip that you want to position over your main clip. So I'm gonna maybe choose this one here. And I'm going to set my in point maybe here. So right here. And my out point there. Okay, I'm going to click on the icon here and then just drag it down to our timeline to video 2 here. Now let's have a look and see how this all looks. There you go. So this is how to add a clip on top of another clip, in case you want to do that. And if I want to make this clip longer, I can drag it out, or I can drag it in, so we can just drag it out a bit. Actually, I'm going to move this to this video here. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to add a narration to your video in case you want to do narrations. What we need to do is go here where it says audio mixer, click on that, and we're going to select this third box here and click on R. So the first box represents audio 1, second box represents audio 2, and third box represents audio 3. So let's select R. Okay, and then let's select record. Now, something that may happen with you is if you select R and record, it may say something like, if that happens in your case, what you need to do is go to Edit, click on Preference, and then click on Audio Hardware, and then click on ASIO Settings, and make sure that external microphone is selected if you're using a microphone, which is more than likely. Make sure that that's selected, and for output we're using internal speaker, so that's fine, but make sure for input you select external microphone, and then click on OK and OK, and then that notice should go away and you can record your video. So if you're having some kind of stop sign up here and it doesn't let you record, this is how to go about it. Make sure you select the right box. I'm going to be selecting the third box because I want the narration to appear here in audio 3, and then I want to make sure that the record is selected. I usually make sure that my audio is muted, and then I'm going to press play, and now I'm going to start narration. So basically I'm just going to be talking. There you go, I'm talking. This is a safari tour in Africa, in Kenya. It was very beautiful. And now stop narration. If we mute the song, for example, to mute, we can just go here to toggle track output and uncheck that. And now this audio 2 is muted. And then I'm going to just go again here. There you go, I'm talking. This is a safari tour in Africa, in Kenya. It was very beautiful. Okay, so there you go. That's how to add a narration to your video. Now, if you want to watch your video from start to finish and you want to watch it on a full frame, what you can do is go up here to the right hand sidebar, click on this icon here, and then click on maximum frame. All right, and now let's play it. Just gonna hit the spacebar on my keyboard. And there you go. So that's what we've created so far. I think this is more or less the general gist of using Adobe Premiere Pro. I've covered quite a lot. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to export your file. So to do that, you want to go to File up here and then click on Export, Media. For format, usually you want to select H.264. And for preset, the one that I usually select is this one, and that's for my YouTube videos. So HD 720 23.976, that's the usual one that I choose for every video that I do, but again, there's so many options that you can choose from. So, you know, if you're exporting it to a phone, then that you can do that. And then you can also edit your output name. So at the beginning, I said before, for source name, we've named it YouTube tutorial, so you can change that if you want. You can also select where you want the video to be saved. I'm going to leave the name as it is, so save, that's fine. And then all you need to do is click export to export your video. Boom. Okay guys, so thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you have any comments. Also, just to note, if you need more guidance and support with regards to YouTube, creating videos, marketing your videos, reaching an audience, also creating a website and things like that, anything to do with, the online world really, I recommend that you go onto my website naturalvita.net, and I offer one-on-one business coaching. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.